up. So let's do that, a bit of that, a bit of this, and we are here. Welcome, guys, to game number 2. Would help if I unpaused it, though, wouldn't it? Game number 2 now, between TyRanT Warlords and Side B. The score currently 1-0 to Side B. They did a good job winning that first game, and albeit a little bit of an unfair victory given the circumstances of the mod. But I'm not going to go into too much depth about that. It's kind of a complicated matter, and Side B ultimately get the win at the end of the day anyway, and perhaps an unexpected victory for them, but certainly a well-deserved one, I guess you could say. And TyRanT going to go into game number 2 now, trailing, which is something that they probably don't experience very often, and I always wonder, like, what's their, like, you know, their sort of thought process when they lose game number 1. When the first, you know, one of the top 8 seeds loses a game to just a pretty run-of-the-mill middle of the tournament ranking team. I wonder what they think. Like, are they thinking, God damn, what even happened there? Are they thinking, oh, it was just a silly mistake, we can come back into this? Or are they, does it really generally affect the players or not? Obviously, I've never really played at this level myself. Never played such an important and huge tournament myself. So I've wondered many times what the mental state of the players gets like when they lose a game like that. It's an interesting topic. So anyway, game number 2 will be Ancient Lake, and I could moan all day about this bloody map, but I won't do that. We'll just get on with it. And so off to the we'll do the flank for TyRanT up to the north of the map in the green here. We've got TyRanT backed, playing as the Japanese. In the pocket position for TyRanT, we've got Slam in the purple, playing as the Huns. In the other pocket, we've got TyRanT Riot, playing as the Mongols in grey. And last but not least, on the south of the map, or the southwest, I guess, the south of their island anyway, in the teal, we've got Fire, playing as the Vikings there in that flank position in teal. So they're going to dock pretty quickly, pretty early on, and they're probably going to be wanting to basically rush their asses off. There's no real other options on this map, but we did see a really nice strategy by the Czech team, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for the side team then, up to the north, actually up to the east of the map, the northeast of the map, in the red, we've got Xiaoxiong playing as the Saracens on that flank position. In the pocket position for side B, we've got side DS there as the Vikings, just luring that boar in with his scout. Nicely done. And in the other pocket position, we've got Cigarettes playing in the orange as Mongols. And I do recognize this guy, VG Cigarettes, pretty old Chinese player, been around for many years, and I think I've cast quite a few games in the past with him in it. They're on YouTube somewhere, and thank you, Mr. Pure AoE donated $1. Would you rather have the head of a crocodile or the hands of a crocodile? Interesting one. I don't know. I think what would affect my ability to play AOC the most? Do crocodile hands give you super AOC powers, or if I had a crocodile head, would I be able to actually? I think I'd rather have the hands. Because if I had the head, my eyes would be looking, you know, to the right and to the left, and I probably wouldn't be able to see the screen very well. Whereas if I had the hands, I might not be so efficient on the keyboard, but at least I could see what I was doing. So anyway, down to the south of the map in the green, sorry, that's the blue even, in the blue, the grass is green, the player is blue. Mike Forever playing as the Huns there, just luring in his second ball with his scout, and we've got to make sure at a high level of play that this is the kind of stuff you see here, simply because luring in your boar with your villagers takes precious villager seconds away from them, and it costs you precious resources. And in this kind of map with a full water style of play, you basically have to get up to the fusillade as fast as you can. So Huns versus Vikings in the south on this flank, and in the north it's going to be the Saracens versus the Japanese. All of these civs pretty much chosen for their water capabilities. The Vikings, of course, just simply because they are the best on the water. The Huns for their lack of houses and their speed. The Mongols for their incredibly fast hunt, so they can get up to the fusillade even faster. The Saracens for their faster firing galleys. So all these civs pretty much picked for this situation, and unfortunately this map is doomed to be a one unit war in most situations, with simply no real options for innovative strategies, just simply because you have to grush, otherwise you will effectively lose the game. So it's all about really who has the best grush and who has the fastest speed. We'll see if anyone's up to feudal already, and the leader there would be Riot, and I'm not surprised by that in the slightest. Riot is playing as the Mongols, so he had that hunt bonus, but Riot, probably one of the fastest players in this game. Riot's speed is something that really sets him apart from many other players, and he's well known for being a fast player. Obviously, I think there's a lot of different categories of players out there. Riot's the kind of player who you're going to see doing a lot of micromanagement. He's the kind of player who is very fast, whereas other experts like Fiage, I use as a classic example. Whenever you watch Fiage play, he's not like a super fast player. He's not like superhuman speed like Viper or Riot, but he's still a top player. But I think he's more kind of like an overall strategy guy, and he's just, I don't know, it's an interesting one to me. But Riot definitely a fast player, and he is up to the feudal age first, I think, with Slam slightly behind. Chris Vican just donated $1. What political party do you support / vote for? That's a really random question, and I don't even know where that one comes from. Thank you for your donation. I don't really support any particular political party. I'd say I was probably more pro-Labour than pro-Conservative in the UK, but to be honest with you, I think they're all useless, and I'd rather be the Prime Minister myself than let those clowns at Westminster do it. But I honestly don't really care, because whoever gets voted in, they're all going to do a crap job anyway, effectively. That's my opinion on the matter. But hey ho, let's get back to this game, focus on the game now, because we are into the feudal age, and this is where things are going to be really made or broken, I guess, because the grush is getting going now. What I was saying earlier about the Czech team, they did a really nice strategy with their scouts. They sent all 4 scouts over to their enemy's island in a transport ship and did some scout rushing on this map, which was really quite interesting. It definitely broke the mold a little bit, but I think in this situation, we're not going to see anything quite like that, and I doubt we're going to see any fast landings either. But we will see galleys coming out very quickly, and I think already it seems like the TyRanT guys are slightly ahead there. And to see, we'll look at this population tab. This is the one we're going to be looking at quite closely for the next few minutes. Badgeofro here with 4 galleys out, Slam with 4, and all of the side guys with 3. It's pretty close. But just at a quick glance here, you can see that TyRanT Warlords already have a total of 3 galleys extra on the water. And it might not sound like a lot, but it really does start to add up. So there's 2 real things to keep a close eye on. Or 3 real things, I guess. That's the pure number of galleys that each player has, the micromanagement that each player has, and then also the timing of fletching coming in as well, because that can really influence and change quite a lot. Also, I suppose, teamwork as well on the water here. Now, Sai in the south seem to look, well, they look like they're outnumbering Riot and Fire, but Fire's just got a new wave of galleys coming out, and it's going to be pretty back and forth for the early stages of this game. There's no real micromanagement here from the side guys, just Cigarettes bringing off his weak galley to the side to be later picked away, and Mike's Forever losing a galley there pretty quickly. Fire, a little bit of micro here with his weak galleys, bringing them round the back, and this one with just 8 health was microed away around the back of the other galleys just to stay alive and still give his galleys some extra firepower. So on the south, it already looks like the TyRanT guys are gaining the upper hand. There's 8 galleys out for Cigarettes, there's 6 for Mike's Forever, and Fire and Riot have 9 and 6. So they're already slightly ahead. In the center of the map, it's going to be between Badgeofro and Slam versus DS and Xiaoxiong. Xiaoxiong is at the moment on 7 galleys. He's got less than anyone else on his team at this point in time, but there's no real big advantages coming in just yet. It's pretty expected for that to happen as the galley war continues, and we're kind of waiting for one player to make a big mistake, overcommit to a fight, lose all of their galleys, and then it's game over effectively. So 6 galleys now for Xiaoxiong. he's definitely fallen behind. He's got half the galleys of Riot and Slam at this point in time, and Slam is sitting right here with more galleys coming over. Badjofro saying that he can't micro properly because it's too laggy, and that's not surprising at all. We've got a team from, with players from China and players from Brazil, and the last time I checked, China and Brazil are on exact opposite sides of the world, so wherever you play, however you play, there is going to be lag between those players. So micromanagement is going to be tough in these situations, but we have a little bit of a pretty aggressive play by DS here, perhaps a mistake, because these guys do have less galleys total, but TyRanT microing their way back now, and it looks like Sai going to chase them down, though Badjofro coming in with some more galleys quite quickly because he's just got the fletching upgrade. In fact, these guys as well just popping off with fletching, and I think the reason they pushed in then as those fletching upgrades that came in was just to try and get the upper hand slightly. But it looks pretty good here because Slam really quite low on galleys now. He's down to 7, and Slam here in purple going to go back, and there's Badjofro Slam running right back. Good aggression by this side team, going for it. And as soon as TyRanT take their eye off the ball for a couple of seconds, they'll take quite a lot of casualties, especially as these galley numbers start to get a lot higher. So good play by DS and Xiaoxiong in the north, but in the south, not so good for Cigarettes and Mike's Forever. Mike's Forever down to 9 galleys, Cigarettes down to 9 as well, and Fire and Riot with 10 and 17. So Fire at the moment definitely doing the best so far, and for some reason Badjofro here staying in and fighting. Not sure why he's doing that. They already decided to go back, but they should have continued going back because Slam now is down to 5 galleys and he can't join this fight without losing his galleys as soon as he gets there. Badjofro down to 10, and these guys just going to keep pushing forward. Xiaoxiong and DS just going to keep going because DS has got 14 galleys out, Xiaoxiong now with 10, and they have quite a big advantage over the 15 combined of Badjofro and Slam in the north. So in the south, it's looking pretty bad for Sai, but in the north, it's looking very good. How will it go overall? That is the question. Fishing ships, by the way, still up for most players, it seems, though I would say that, yeah, Xiaoxiong's lost 1 fishing ship, I think. The yellow player here losing all 4 by the looks of things, so that lack of food could definitely slow down the Castle Age timing. And we'll be keeping an eye out for the Castle Age upgrades pretty soon as well. But obviously that Castle Age timing is really crucial on this map, and water maps, I've got to say, are a hell of a lot of play, a lot of fun to play yourself. But when you're watching them, when you're watching this one unit war, it's the tiny differences that make the difference. Not so entertaining to watch the water wars, unfortunately. It's my opinion anyway. But to play them, oh god, to play them, it is so fun. I absolutely love playing on water maps. And it's something that a lot of people just don't really quite get the hang of as much as others. So Cigarettes here on 13 galleys at the moment. The least galleys is at the moment for Slam. And in fact, Sai there just briefly took the score lead, I think, as TyRanT start clicking up to the Castle Age. And in fact, here we've got Riot and we've got Slam now on the way up to Castle. And Slam, considering he has so little galleys here, he's going up to the Castle Age pretty early in comparison to the other guys. In fact, he's losing more now as well, and Cigarettes is up here in the north just to try and finish off these guys, and Badjofro has nowhere to run at all, losing most of his galleys up here, and that's really horrible for him. So Cigarettes coming up, it was a 3v2 situation, and Slam didn't have many galleys out either, and this is forcing Riot and Fire into the center of the map now, away from the south where they were initially fighting. But Badjofro losing his fishing ships, not good news at all, and he's down to 6 galleys while Slam is on 3. And it's suddenly looking a little bit close, with Sai now taking that score lead once again. But Badjofro, Fire, Slam all up to Castle now. Mike's Forever still feudal, Xiaoxiong still feudal. Riot's nearly into the Castle Age, DS is nearly Castle, but Cigarettes is still feudal as well. And we're going to see 4 Castle Age players for Team TyRanT very soon, whilst Team Sai is going to have 3 players still in the feudal age at that point. So those upgrades for the TyRanT team are going to be coming in very soon. But overall, I would say they have less galleys out on the field at the moment. Sai definitely have more galleys right now. But Slam going up to the Castle Age this early is a pretty big strategical decision, and that's because war galleys create faster than galleys. So in water wars, although it is a 1-unit war, there is a real big important timings on the Castle Age upgrade. If you get the Castle Age upgrade at just the right time and take advantage of the fact that you can now create galleys much faster, you can really put yourself back into the game. So Slam, he was right down to 3 galleys, but now that War Galley upgrade is complete, his galleys are going to start pumping out a little bit faster, and as long as he can keep galley production going, he's certainly going to have a lot more units out on the water, and because they're War Galleys, they're going to have a lot more longevity as well. So a little bit of a tactical pause in production there from Slam, just to enable his Castle Age slightly faster. So obviously he is getting up to the Castle Age already pretty early. And I was just checking the chat real quick there. Someone said the stream crashed, and I was like, oh god, no. I'm streaming to nobody right now. But no, it's absolutely fine by the looks of things. Riot's also castle with that +2 attack. Bad Jofro now castle. And this is a real awkward situation for the Psy guys, as they have War Galleys bearing down upon them. DS just reached castle though for their team, but that's it. Cigarette, Xiao Xiong, and Mike's Forever still feudal for now, and those Castle Age upgrades might be coming in, but they're a little bit slow in comparison, and this could be the perfect opportunity here for Team TyRanT Warlords to just push forwards and take a huge advantage. Fire though seems a little out of position on this left side. And there's so many different colours here, it just get a little bit difficult to track who is who. But DS at the moment with those 24 War Galleys, with his teammates sitting right behind them. Xiao Xiong and Cigarettes just sticking with the War Galleys effectively, letting the War Galleys tank these shots, and using the galleys behind them to try and put out some extra damage. But right in this position, this is the kind of situation that gets really interesting, because Xiao Xiong here has got 22 galleys on the water. Bachiovo has 12, and although he has War Galley, he doesn't actually have Bodkin Arrow yet. So Xiao Xiong, even though he was even though he was engaging War Galleys there, he just took that fight, and he's going to continue to take that fight as well. Now he's in the Castle Age. That War Galley upgrade, that +2 attack upgrade is going to come in, and might be sacrificing a little bit too much health on these galleys here, but he's chasing down Bad Jofro, chasing Bad Jofro out of this fight. And meanwhile, DS here in the center of the map just staying where he is, holding their ground and doing a good job of it. Cigarette's now up to the Castle Age as well, and we'll see those upgrades coming in fairly soon for him. But TyRanT have got that score lead once again, and continue to hold on to that for now. But overall, I think we'll have a quick check now at the military tab. Fire killing 49 units so far, losing 25. DS killing 54 and losing 39. And really, it's pretty close, actually. Looking at this, it is pretty close. I'd say Bajofro losing the most units compared to how many he's killed so far. And the scores at the moment flicking back and forth quite quickly as the balance just tips back and forth. Apparently, the stream is dropping some frames, but I just looked over at my second monitor and it's absolutely fine. So perhaps refresh your stream if it's lagging for you, or perhaps choose or lower the settings slightly if it is lagging for you, because it's absolutely fine on my end, and I'm not sure why that would be for you guys. So Psy pushing forwards now, and I think they're going to be wise to do so. They do have more galleys on the water at this point in time. They have got a greater population of galleys, and I think they just got to be very careful with how they engage. TyRanT kind of have this really big concave on the left side, and on the right side as well. Bad Jofro keeping himself in the fight, but everybody is now up to castle. Nobody has the definitive lead on the water, and then it's going to be a rinse and repeat situation that we saw with the feudal age into the Castle Age, but now it's going to be the Castle Age into the Imperial Age. And obviously it gets more difficult as the game goes on. Going up to the Castle Age, relatively easy on these maps. Go up to the Imperial Age in a good time, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Obviously, as you start to get those second and third town centers up, you might end up sacrificing a few galleys for that. You might end up costing yourself a little bit more resource than you would like if you put your TCs up too early, for instance. You'll notice some players are already up on 3, some are sticking on 2 for now, some are even staying on 1 for the time being. But big fight in the center of the map, and Psy here, I think they should come out on top. Looking at the numbers, it looks like Psy... Oh wait, no. Psy don't have nearly as many. DS has so many war galleys for Psy, but it's the TyRanT guys who just together have the most. Cigarettes has 14, Xiao Xiong has 7, DS has 34, and although Fire has 28, Riot has 24, Badjofer has 26, and together they have a much higher total. So this should be, right here, a victory for the TyRanT guys in this little fight. DS, if Badjofer comes in on the north, these units here will get taken down. And I think DS throwing away a lot of units there. They thought they had an advantage, and obviously they did not. We have the advantage of seeing the population tab, I guess, but it's pretty damn close right here still. TyRanT just edging into the lead once more. Both teams losing a lot of war galleys, and that is expected. But overall, it is still fairly close. We'll look at the overall score now. There are literally, 150 points in it, with TyRanT taking the lead so far on the water. But it can be brought back very quickly. We'll have a quick look at the dock numbers here. 3, 6, 7, 8 docks for DS, the Viking player. We've got 4 docks from Zhejiang. We've got 3 docks from 3, 4, 5 docks from Cigarettes, and we've got 4 docks from Mike's Forever. Mike's Forever actually probably letting the side down a little bit here in the south of the map. He's only got 7 military units, or 6 now. Didn't really add any extra docks in, and 4 is simply not enough. Once you get to the castle age, you should be on 5 or 6, and as you can see, one of these docks is on fire as well, which means that he may have even lost one so far, which is always costly. Once again, another engagement in the center of the map. TyRanT now retreating, and since these guys have got ballistics now, any units that retreat are going to be getting extra hits where they normally wouldn't, since that ballistics upgrade is going to allow them to, or allow the pursuers to land the extra shots. And yeah, it is a little difficult to see what's going on with so many different players in the center of the map, but that's why we have this beautiful information tab down to the bottom right. So Badjofer then, apparently, according to the chat, Badjofer is landing, but I don't think he did. I think Badjofer had a few galleys here, hence why this area of the map is empty. Zhejiang unable to take wood from there because Badjofer came in with some galleys and started hitting those villagers. So extra mining camps forced to be built by Zhejiang. But you can see Zhejiang here in the north, still only on 1 town center. And, you know, he's building up his lumber camps. He's literally just doing galleys. That's his one focus at the moment. The orange player, he's up to 3 TCs. The yellow player is up to 2 town centers. And for the TyRanT team, we've got Badjofer on 3, we've got Slam on 3, we've got Riot on 3 as well, and we've got Fire on 3. So TyRanT here getting quite far ahead with their economy, it seems. At first glance, they're all up to 3 town centers, whereas some of the side team are actually sacrificing town centers in favor of more galleys. That's effectively what they're doing. And Sai now, they all have a lot of galleys out on the water here, and it looks like they do have more in numbers, so that obviously has worked. We've got some sneaky demos coming through from DS as well, but unfortunately sneaky demos don't work against galleys too well. They come in, they die before they reach their targets, and that was kind of unfortunate. But Sai, obviously, quite a strategical play there, sacrificing their economies so that they could get more galleys, and it has worked because they just tipped the score in their favor once again. A second ago, it did revert back to TyRanT, but I think they'll get it eventually, and now they can start taking down these docks. They can start cleaning up the rest of the galleys as TyRanT warlords run away. Sai now with that score lead once more, and this is where it does start to get kind of a little bit back and forth, a little bit interesting, because Sai beating TyRanT right back, they have got the possibility to start claiming some docks from the TyRanT team, and we see them already starting to attack some of these docks from rear. Of course, going to clean up more war galleys as they run, because the TyRanT guys haven't really got anywhere to run to, and if they start taking out these docks now, that's going to be really very costly for TyRanT. TyRanT losing about a 200 score at the moment in comparison to Sai as well. So Sai basically just going to push this advantage as best they can, and I don't blame them at all. Yeah, they're going to make a good shot of this, and that's pretty huge. Now, like I said, they did sacrifice a little bit of eco here. Obviously, they are much further behind in terms of town centers, and you see just 2 TCs for the blue player, just 2 for yellow, just 2 for red, just 2 for orange. Sorry, 3 for orange, but all of the TyRanT guys up to 3. and that means that they're going to have more villagers on the map. They're going to have more villager population, and you can see that if you look on the right side here. By comparison, every single TyRanT player has between 10 and 15 more villagers than every single side player. So although now that they are losing the water, we might see them get up to the Imperial Age first. And yes, Fire is on the way up to the Imperial Age. Riet is almost there. And surprisingly, DS is nearly there, and Cigarettes as well. But the TyRanT guys are going to be going up with a much bigger economy. I think at this point in time, Sai should really be trying to take down as many docks as they can. And at the moment, they're unable to take too many down because there is a castle here from Riet. And granted, that's not really doing too much to defend his docks. But for some reason, Sai aren't focusing down the docks quite like I would have expected or wanted to see them do. I feel like they are just pursuing the galleys from the TyRanT team. And I'm not really sure why they would particularly want to do that. Obviously, if TyRanT do go up to the Imperial Age, which they are doing now, they will upgrade their galleys, but it's very valuable to take down the docks. And look just how many docks TyRanT have. Fire has 3, 6, 9, like 10 docks. You have Riet with 3, 6, 9 docks. You've got Slam with 3, 6, almost 9 docks. You've got Bagiofro with 3, 6, 9 docks. They're all up to like 9 docks. And now they can really start to take advantage of that much larger economy that they have got. So Sai, they took a hit to their economies to be able to push, take an advantage on the water. They've done that. And the other team, for TyRanT, they took the hit to their military, and in turn they had made bigger economies. And now they've got so many docks out, they are going to just pummel or push the docks, push the war galleys out of the docks as fast as they possibly can. So we will see how this one ends up going. Still, the TyRanT guys have about 20 more villagers, between 10 and 20 more villagers each. And they're still being beaten back on the water. Fire down here, losing most of his galleys now. He's got less than 20 out on the map at the moment. DS, the MVP, I would say, for Team Sai B at the moment. He's got 40 galleys out right now. Cigarettes has 40. My Ex Forever has 40. And for TyRanT, they average out on about 25 galleys, I think, at this point in time. But that galleon upgrade's starting to pop now as well. And it looks like TyRanT, the first guys to get galleon done. And that would be on Riet. But galleon now done for DS, and they're not going to be far behind, to be honest with you. Slam now, war galleys here from him, but those galleons from Riet going to start doing a lot of damage as well. That ship armor upgrade coming in. Fire's got ship armor as well. The Cigarettes, Mike's forever doing ship armor. It's basically every single upgrade you can possibly do at this moment in time. This galleon's going to be doing a lot of extra damage. The difference between a galleon and a war galley is quite significant. There's an extra base damage, and there's 30 extra health on galleons, so it really does make a difference. But Cigarettes now with galleon as well. And in the north, Bagiofro is just massing up as many units as he can, and that's understandable because DS has 52 galleons on the water right now. Cigarettes has 48, and it looks like TyRanT are getting beaten right back right now. And I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing some longboats or something coming out just to try and get more units on the water, because that's simply what TyRanT need. They need more units. They have got a slight eco advantage still, like I say, but they're unable to get the galleys out fast enough at this moment in time. So Bagiofro is up to 49, 52 galleys, but DS is still staying in the lead with 63, and he's going to keep making them. I mean, why wouldn't he? You can make them all day long. No landing attempts so far this game, and it's a shame because Bagiofro could easily land up here in the north, and the same could be said at the south. There's nothing here from the side team to look at this corner of the map. They could easily get landed, I feel, in this location. But unfortunately, yeah, it's a one-unit war on this map, and I feel like it's a shame because the other version of this map was much better. But everybody now, well, nearly everybody with Galleon. Slam at the moment just still lagging behind slightly with War Galley, and Xiao Xiong with War Galley as well. But galleons from everyone else, it seems, and a pretty big fight in the middle of the map. It's basically galleons, galleons, galleons everywhere. Riet with 45, and now they just need Bagiofro to come in, and he's right here on this right side. DS losing quite a lot. He's dropped down to 55 now. And Cigarettes down on 35 as well. So DS a little bit out of position here with these galleys. I feel like these should be engaging up in the north. Meanwhile, at the south of the map, Fire and Riot suddenly just seem to have a lot more galleys from nowhere. And Xiao Zhong and Mike Trevor with nothing on the water. They are relying on DS, it seems, at this point in time. And although Slam only has 15 or so war galleys on the water right now, the other TyRanT guys all have upwards of 40, and so they are together suddenly a superior team, a superior force. And once again, Psy is now being pushed back. TyRanT guys taking the score lead. It's been a very back and forth water fight. It's been very back and forth, but I can hear some trade carts coming up. And of course, easy trade on this map. This is nothing like an easier trade than this. 100 gold per trip. Really very good value on those trade carts. And there's trades coming up from both teams now as well. So as that gold starts to run out, they're going to fall back onto the trade. But there's really very little in it in terms of that. They're pretty much setting up their trade at the same time. But Bagiofro here with 63 galleons at the moment pushing forwards. We got more demolition ships from DS like just mixed in here. Those sneaky demos going to do absolutely nothing. Just waste of population, a waste of space. It's all about the galleons. That's what it's all about. But TyRanT really pushing forwards quite ominously there. I mean, that is a bloody ton of ships, that is for sure. And at this point, Psy are very much on the back foot, but they brought it back from this position before. In fact, TyRanT were looking like they were in the same position as Psy just a moment ago, and this is like a Lagfest 3000 here, because DS Cigarettes with a combined 110 galleys on the water. On the left side, Riot and Bagiofro are combined 140 galleys. Add Fire into the mix and you're upwards of 200 galleys here for the TyRanT team. Whilst the Psy team have about 150, just tons of projectiles going back and forth. And I could watch this for quite some time. But Bagiofro getting right in there, getting stuck in. And of course, if any of these guys try to retreat, they're going to be retreating into the units of Bagiofro. Xiao Zhong still only with a war galley at the moment, and it does not look good for him. His eco is looking pretty bad over there. Mike's forever as well, unable to really get their ecos running. Looking pretty sparse, looking pretty bare. And this is where I think the Psy's decision to go pretty minimal on the eco and instead push the water is starting to backfire a little bit. Because the TyRanT guys clearly now with many more galleons on the water. And Psy have got nowhere to really retreat to at this point in time. They could come back to their docks, but TyRanT just going to keep pushing them back. And in total, the TyRanT guys are close to 200 galleons now. And Psy have about 110, so they're about 90 galleys outnumbered at this point in time, and that's pretty big. That's pretty big. TyRanT just need to keep pushing forwards. They really have nothing to lose at this point in time, apart from their entire navy, I suppose. But I don't think that's going to happen over on this right side. And there's Slam's galleons as well, just coming up now. No ship armor for for Slam actually, but. Waiting for him to get Bracer, but yeah, this is really just a one-unit war, like I've been saying for some time. I see some unupgraded ships as well. Xiao Zhong just getting up to the Imperial Age, getting Galleon as well, but no chemistry for these guys, I've noticed. This fight has been going on for a long time. If we had a wonder counting down the years, this fight might have been about a 5-year battle at this point. But TyRanT still holding the advantage, it seems. In the south of the map, Fire losing a little bit to Mike's Forever there. Mike's Forever's galleons managing to hold out in the south. But this onslaught at the top on the right is slowly going in TyRanT's favor. And they've kind of broken the lines of Psy now. Psy retreating right back to their docks, but there's not many castles here. Not really many castles at all, and TyRanT can now start taking down those docks pretty quickly, and that's what I think Psy should have done before. They should have took down the docks, because that would have prevented any more unit production from the TyRanT team. TyRanT here going straight for the docks, to be expected. Some of these docks in the north going down pretty quickly, and they're continuing to build more over, take more out over here, it seems, as well. But Mike's forever coming in. He wants a piece of the action as well. Fire going to come in and take him down on the left side. Of course, we've got the rest of this army from TyRanT as well in the middle. And it just is so many. So many galleons just from everyone. And I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't see any like longboats or anything from the TyRanT team to try and get them back into this, but I guess they didn't need it. Meanwhile, Badgio here just stopping this castle from going up. Will it go up? It is so close, but I don't think it will. There's villagers there getting taken down, and that castle must be on 99 or 98% from Zheong. Let's have a quick look. It's on 96, okay, not quite, but still, that's very close to completion. But Badgio is stopping that, killing about 15 villagers there. Well played by him. And Zheong now looks like he's going to pull more villagers to basically try and build that. It's looking so sparse back here, and you don't really need a real big economy. Well, a big food economy, of course. You don't need any food to make a lot of galleons. But now the side team are trying to get up those castles, but they're not able to do it, because TyRanT are saying, nope, not today, as they kill those villagers that are scrambling to build the castles on the shoreline there. So surprisingly, still not many docks going down, and still TyRanT just sitting outside of the docks and killing off every unit as it seems to pop out. 27 galleons for DS at the moment, 30, 26 for cigarettes, 25 for Mike's forever. And meanwhile, Fire's got 64, Riot's got 67, Badgio has 40, and Slam has 30. And now we wait for the TyRanT guys to either win it or mess up and wait for Side to come back and push it right back again. Obviously no way to know really which way it's gonna go, but I want to see a landing here. That's what I want to see. I want to see a landing go across. I want to see, you know, Knights, Cavalier, it doesn't really matter. Anything, just into their economies. Mangadai, just run them in, kill all their eco. That would be the best thing. But it's kind of difficult to do that, because if you do that, you obviously sacrifice a lot of population space for your galleons. But TyRanT have been outside these docks for quite some time now, and a few of these docks are falling as well. Obviously the gather point for these docks is set to themselves, so that the galleons that pop out go inside. That castle did go up for Zheong, but Zheong actually only has 2 docks, 3, 4, 5 docks left, which really isn't a lot at this point in time. 5 docks is pretty much nothing when you look at the TyRanT shoreline and you see just dock after dock after dock all the way along. There is nothing but docks here. Whereas if you compare that to the side team's map, there's a lot of docks in the middle. And then they kind of like get less and less towards the edge, I guess. But definitely seems like a lot more in terms of docks, production, and certainly galleons at this point in time for the TyRanT team. Kind of just waiting at this point for the TyRanT guys to just take the game, because I guarantee to you game 3 is going to be really fun on the War is Coming map pack. And it looks like the TyRanT guys are a little bit low on food, actually. Asking for some food there. Fire down to like no food at all. Question is, what does he need food for if all he's making is trade carts and galleons? It doesn't cost any food for trade carts and galleons. It's nothing. But I think these guys are going to do a landing. Yeah, there we go. Badgio landing on this right side, but it doesn't need to happen because it's GG now for the Psy B team. TyRanT gonna take that victory. It was well played. I mean, it was very back and forth on the water, and I know some people out there probably don't appreciate water wars all that much. I certainly can understand that. It is just galleons. But at the same time, the intricacies in it's interesting to watch, and it was very back and forth. And TyRanT did a good job to come back after Psy had them pinned against their docks. But Psy did take a risk to their own economies to be able to do that, and ultimately that risk didn't pay off, and TyRanT managed to take the water back, and they were just going to finish that game up quite quickly with barracks and basically infantry flood on this right side. And we also saw some Mangadai coming out from Riot as well with these transport ships here to send them across, basically land them and then run into the trade line. That's all they need to do. And it's a shame, really, that Psy couldn't manage to do that. And in the Imperial Age, it's better to have the water in the Imperial Age than it is in the Feudal Age, because you could do so much more with it in the Imperial Age. And because the TyRanT guys had the water in the Imperial Age, they were able to then enable themselves to land, and had it been the other way around, it would have been a very quick GG for the TyRanT guys if Team Psy had managed to, if, for instance, run Mangudai into their trade. So, well played by TyRanT, but I'm really looking forward to seeing game number 3, which is going to be played on the War is Coming map pack. And we're going to go to game number 3 in just a second's time. I'm literally just going to tab out, update the